Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Genesis Atlanta. Come on in.
So what's going on? I'm here with my man Joffre, Lester.
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing well.
That's good, man. So, first time sitting down with you, first time meeting you, whatnot. I got a little bit of a backstory on you, man. We actually know some of the same people.
Right,
Small world, right? I wasn't even thinking that I would ask and you would know exactly who the individual was that we know. But tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit of your back history.
Back history. So I'm originally from Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
I start making my way towards the South after initially getting accepted to Alabama State.
Okay.
Went there for a semester. Of course, I'm coming from Denver, moving to the South. First semester was a little bit rocky.
Yeah,
but
shock,
yeah. But it was fun. But after that, I had a daughter, so I joined the Army so I could do what I needed to do to take care of her. Spent some time in the military, deployed to Iraq, came back, finished at Alabama State University, moved to Atlanta from there, went to grad school, and then finished grad school, and I've been here ever since.
Man, and when was that? When did that?
That was that 2010, 2011 year.
Wow. Okay, so it's been about 8 years now. 8 years in that transition, and that's a heck of a story. Like going to college, going to the military, having a daughter.
Yeah.
How did that impact your life in that transition?
It's still impacted.
It's still.
Yeah.
It's not done yet.
Yeah, it's not done yet, but it grew me up really fast, and it made me way more responsible than I was at the moment. Made me smarter, more dedicated.
Absolutely.
Just the basic things that you would want to have happen to you if you have a child. So
Absolutely.
Just turned me up a little bit on my manhood stuff. It was worth it.
And what's her name?
Her name is Zaria.
Zaria, how old is she?
She's 15 years old.
She's 15. She's a teenager.
Yeah, sophomore in high school.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Beautiful thing. So tell us a little bit about Genesis Atlanta, man.
So Genesis Atlanta, I like to call it like a Swiss Army knife for a lot of different things. It came about because I've worked in branding, I worked in marketing, worked in production, I've worked as a photographer.
Wow.
And one of the things that was always a necessity was a space, and not only a space for creativity, but an affordable space to where if people wanted to throw an event, they're not spending all their money on the overhead and can't eat for themselves. Yeah. Or if you are a growing photographer, you're not paying the studio $30,000 an hour, and you can't even make any money off your clients or even learn in a comfortable environment. Genesis is, we call it Genesis because it's the beginning. It's the starting place for people who are trying to get their foot in the door or just be creative or something like that without being uncomfortable or without feeling the pressure like, oh, everybody in here is way better than me now. Like everybody's equal here. Yeah. It's a safe space. You come create, you come learn, you come do really dope things.
That's what's up, man. Yes, and listen, this is Genesis Atlanta. We're gonna get y'all a little tour later, so y'all can check it out. It's definitely a dope space. Now we talked a little bit about the time frame. I would have no idea the time frame that it took you to turn this over if you hadn't told me. Because you know what I'm saying? Like it looks like shoot, this has been established for a minute. So kind of run us through that time frame of when you got the space, you looked at it, came up with the concept like, man, I want to get this done. And kind of run us through that timeline.
Right. Okay, so it was November, what year is this? 2019? It was November 2018 when I initially got the keys. And it was the first November 1st, got the keys. Came in here, none of this was here. It was kind of just empty. And initially, like I said, I was working on photography. So it's like, I need a really dope studio that I could shoot, put some backdrops up. And really, that was my first idea. But as I got in here, one backdrop in all this space, 1,800 square feet, 3 floors, it's like, I don't even really shoot that much. Like, I don't shoot that much at all, actually. I just thought it'd be a cool idea. So as that started sitting in my head, it was like, okay, let's build this out. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the concept was there, but the how and the what was, okay, today's Tuesday, let's try this. And if it stuck, it stuck. If not, tore it down and tried it all over again. So this, even the area we're sitting in this happened like the moment it happened. It wasn't like a plan. I got some cool furniture and some carpet from some guys I've done some work with before, and it was like, okay, that'll fit right there.
Yeah.
And that's how it ran.
That's
so, and that plays into Genesis as well. It's kind of just one of those places where if it fits, run it.
Absolutely.
Because that's where creativity happens. It's sometimes the best things come from things that aren't planned.
Definitely, absolutely, I agree with you on that. Could you tell us a little bit about how maybe your work history and your work background played a part in the becoming of Genesis?
Yeah, sure. So I've always had the idea of being like in this PR, communications, branding type world. Just didn't have a name for it or a stamp. So I've always worked in that industry in some shape or form, whether it be entertainment or corporate.
Okay.
I was at Hewlett Packard for 5 years, then I dabbled in the music industry for a little bit, worked in production, got some shows on the air. But it was like there needed to be something that housed everything that I do that I still don't have a title for.
Right.
So that's really what the idea of Genesis was. It was kind of like the melting pot of all my work experience before, whether it be corporate or freelance work, and it just came to a head with Genesis pretty much. So all my experience is in here.
That's dope. That's dope. So you were able to take the experiences that you had with those companies, an opportunity with those companies, and this whole time as you're working, you're thinking, man, I need to do something for myself.
Absolutely.
And bringing it all together, and I'm not gonna tell you everything that's in here, but a little bit, like you said, music background, got a little studio in here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got a little, obviously we in the dining room area, patio. It really came together beautifully. And Joffre's gonna show you guys that a little later. So what's next? So obviously we have the Genesis, Atlanta, that's evolving. So what is next? Is the main focus to just really focus in on getting Genesis out there, and what type of message do you want to send to the people? Like, come to Genesis, one-stop shop, but what's the message, what's the mission behind it, like the cause?
So overall, I want people to have a place where they can be consistent and call their home.
Okay.
So like I said before, we're a Swiss Army knife of things that just kind of are housed in one area. But I want a photographer to say, I'm so-and-so photographer at Genesis Studio. Like, this is your house. So, and even if you do weekly events or we've had podcasts done in here weekly, like this is home. Yeah. So the goal for me is to continue to market in a way to where it's not just some spot that you're clicking online to rent. Like, this is your house. I want everybody to, like, even the atmosphere when you're here, when you come in, it's a what's up? Yeah. How you doing? What's up? How's your day going? It's not a hey sir. It's not that environment. I want people to come in and feel like it's home and that they can do projects here and create here on a consistent basis.
Absolutely. We talked a little bit, Joffre, earlier about relationships. How can you elaborate on the impact or the importance of building relationships, especially in the community or an environment like this?
Well, just being here alone has helped my relationship building skills immensely. I like to call myself an introverted extrovert. I talk, but only when spoken to a little bit. But there's so many cool people that come in here. It's opened doors beyond just meeting a person. Like, I've met photographers that plugged me into a production company that got me another job. So it's just it's a huge networking place, and even from the art that we have in here, it's from all local Atlanta artists. So they get exposure and people start hashtagging their work, and because that hashtag was seen by another person, they're like, oh, I've been to Genesis. So it's kind of like just the beginning. I go back to it, it's the name, it's the beginning of relationship building, networking, creation, all in one spot.
I think that's very, very dope, man. Very dope. Lastly, I want to ask you, being a black man in Atlanta, and with everything going on in the world, it's clicking on the news, looking on TV, it's something new every day. With the new series that just dropped, I don't know if you said When They See Us, about the Central Park 5.
Right.
Where do you come into play, like, as being a black man and a role model? How would you like to, I guess, influence those kids or people in the community, like to see you as, like, you want to see this as a safe space, or kind of, I want you to walk me through, like, how is that going to impact the community in a whole, maybe the youth, or?
Well, on a personal level, I'm a lead by example guy. Like I said, I was a sergeant in the Army for 8 years. And one of the things that I learned is leaders have to lead by example. You have to be able to show. and I'm not perfect, but even being an entrepreneur here off the Beltline, one of the few black businesses that are here, when people come in, they're like, yo, you own this? And I'm like, yes, bro, it's possible. And I haven't sold any dope.
Yeah.
like I just tried.
Yeah.
And it was a process, but I think setting the standard early as a black man in this community and being the shining example, and sometimes you do have to bite your tongue and do what you have to do, but you have to set the standard so others can believe it's possible. So on a personal level, that's kind of my approach. But from the Genesis level, being a black man, it's I have to do good business.
Yeah.
I can't mess up.
Yeah.
My scheduling has to be on point.
Yeah.
I have to always be on time.
Wow.
I can't have a crack in my floor. So it almost pushes me to be better. So I don't mind the challenge. I actually welcome it because I don't want to give anybody outside of the black race a reason to badmouth us or kick us any more than we already been kicked. Sure. So Genesis is the pillar of strength for not only myself on a personal level, but for black entrepreneurs to think that, oh man, I can't get on the Beltline. Yes, you can. Yeah. Yes, you can. But you gotta be the standard and above the standard in order to shine like we know we can.
Absolutely, man. That's dope. Being a pioneer and shoot, I'm getting chills just listening to you. You know, looking as a black man myself, seeing another black man that can do it right here in Atlanta. You know, where they're gentrifying and doing so much around us. Right. But to have somebody that's in that community that's making an impact, that's huge, man. Yeah. That's definitely huge. So I'm here with Mr. Joffre Lester. We at Genesis Atlanta. We're gonna get a tour. This is your boy Calboogie. He talks, she talks.
Please rub your feet through the turf and kind of clear your head and start building your brand, coming up with real cool ideas. That's this area here. It also doubles. It's kind of steep, but everybody needs to work out.
Floors, I love it. All the floors?
Yeah, we do a little bit. So full moss wall right there, and it actually lights up at night, so it's really cool. Again, another local Atlanta artist, actually an Alabama A&M graduate, knocked those out for me. Fully functional jacuzzi tub here. We keep this up and just light it up real nice when if people aren't using it. But when you want to use it, you just move these out the way, fill up the tub, put some bubbles in there, hang out, drink you some wine, kick it. You don't have to go far to go to the next bathroom. That's right.
3 floors, man. This is definitely a one-stop shop, though.
Yep, and then after you're inside, if you feel like going outside and hanging out on the roof, you can come hang out on the roof and relax. We have an umbrella here. If the sun starts beating on you, you crank that umbrella open, sit under the shade, think, create, meditate.
It's definitely got that vibe. Like you get real creative out here. I love this turf. I'm ready to take my shoes off.
Right. Move the chairs, do some yoga.
Man, want to get this tour popping?
Yeah, man. I want to show you around.